Do you run into issues with available space in your computer? Moldex3D projects take up a significant amount of space in your hard drive, and to combat that, we have a new tool in Moldex3D Studio 2025 that can help clean up a large amount of space consumed by these simulation files. Let's explore the new compact wizard in Moldex3D 2025. Whenever you run a simulation, it's not uncommon for the project size to get up in the realm of several gigabytes, and each run that you create within that project can compound to make the file size extraordinarily large. Previous to Moldex 3D Studio 2025, we did have an external application that was called the Compact Wizard Plus. In Moldex 3D Studio 2025, we have added this function into the Studio interface under the Utility tab. It's called the Compact Wizard, and this allows us to remove unnecessary files from our simulation projects. When you open up the Compact Wizard Plus, you have the option to remove all files from the projects that you add into this tool, or you can just remove specific files. If you remove all your result files, then you'll have to run the simulation again to obtain the simulation results. Because we usually want to retain the result information when we're archiving a project, usually we will keep the result information and only remove specific files, which include temporary files, exchange data files, and intermediate time step output files. Temporary files are created by the solver whenever the simulation is running. Exchange data files are created whenever there's a translation of information. There's a folder where all of these exchange data files are placed that are only necessary while the simulation is running. Intermediate time step output files are the time steps in your analysis. These time steps allow you to see the result outputs at specific moments during the molding process. If we remove these time steps, we'll no longer have access to them, but we will keep the primary or important time steps to be able to see the simulation results later on. These time steps can be specified using the gear over here on the right, and you can keep certain information that is applicable to the project that you have loaded into the project list. We always recommend to remove the temporary and exchange files. These do not impact your analysis outputs at all. The time step output files do remove the time steps, and so occasionally we will not elect to remove those time step output files. To load a project into this tool, you can either have one open already, in which case that will be loaded into this project list automatically, or you can hit the little plus folder up at the top right corner. Okay, we're going to route to the project that we want to load into this, and we will select the MRM file associated with that project file. This will load all of the associated runs, and you can check or uncheck the specific runs if you want to archive some, but not all of them. In this case, I will archive all of them. Now, this tool is going to remove these certain files from this project folder structure. Before I remove anything, I can hit estimate down here at the bottom left and see what the file reduction is going to be. In this case, my original file size was 3.34 gigabytes. And after just removing the temporary and exchange data files, I go down from a 3.34 gigabyte size to 1.72 gigabytes. And we can see the reduction ratio over here on the right side. If I include intermediate time step output files into this estimation, we can see that my file size goes from 3.34 gigs down to just over 1 gigabyte for a reduction ratio of around 70%. It's not uncommon for these reductions to be in the realm of 50 to 80%, and this is why we recommend to use this tool very often. The nice thing is you can use this tool on multiple projects at the same time. I don't have to do these projects one by one. For example, I could go in and load another project to do this reduction all at the same time. I'll load in the MRM file, right? And we can estimate for each of these. Okay, it looks like the reduction wasn't so much for this file, and so we only get a 20% reduction ratio. All right, in this case, I will elect to keep my time step output files, and I'll hit compact over here at the bottom right corner to remove the temporary and exchange files from my simulation project. We can see that this tool actually takes a very short amount of time to do this compacting, and the compacted size after this tool has been used has completed a reduction ratio of around 50%. In addition to removing the files using this compact wizard, you can also use it to compress your projects after the compact and save those compressed folders to a certain location. Compressing the projects on top of removing some of these files can add another 20 to 30% to your reduction ratio. To do so, you can hit the checkbox down here at the bottom, and you can either use the original project folder where you selected the MRM file from, or you can use a specified folder wherever you want to on your machine. This can be a really easy way to go through and archive a large number of projects all at the same time, rather than using a WinRAR or WinZip. Going into each folder and compacting them individually can take a long time by itself. And so this tool really helps you to do everything all in one step, and then you can very easily archive that information to a specified folder location. Thank you for watching this Moldex 3D tips and tricks, and we'll hope to see you in the next one.